President Tharman Shanmugaratnam says building global trade ties will be vital in creating better jobs in Africa as the continent grapples with producing enough work for its huge population. The president said this to students at the University of Dar Salaam during a state visit to Tanzania. His Tanzanian counterpart also urges his government and private sectors to seize the opportunity to invest in long-term partnerships with Singapore. Nicolas Ng reports.
One estimate predicts that Africa will have 500 million people entering the workforce in the next decade. That same estimate predicts that only 165 million jobs will be produced during that period. That is a 335 million job shortfall, and filling it, President Tharman says, takes a government focusing its effort on creating good jobs.
It means that every capacity that we have in government, amongst enterprises, and in our whole society, every capacity, every ability we have has to bend at the knee of creating good jobs for our population. It has to be a whole of government and whole of society endeavor.
This would mean trade and investment ministries ensuring that their strategies lead to their nation's economies climbing the value chain, and infrastructure policy making sure that constructing utilities build jobs too. Mr. Tharman says that building trade ties with neighbours and other regions will help.
The statements to indicate that we are now going to commence free trade agreement negotiations between Singapore and the East African community is significant. It's about creating scale by linking up our markets and growing opportunity and allowing for that learning curve that takes us on a higher level of productivity in every industry.
Business representatives from both countries also participated in a roundtable discussion in which the Tanzanian president urged them to make the most of.
I therefore urge every participant from both government and private sectors to seize this opportunity to engage candidly and jointly agree on the next course of action. My government remains fully committed to maintain a stable, predictable, and investor-friendly environment that rewards long-term partnership and responsible investment. We'll continue to listen, reform, and facilitate.
She called on representatives from both countries to tighten investment pipelines and improve partnerships in industries like gemstone processing and fuel refining. Nicolas Ng, CNA, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
President Tharman has landed in Tanzania's city of Zanzibar on the final leg of his state visit. The semi-autonomous archipelago has its own head of state and government. Mr. Tharman met Zanzibar President Hussein Mwinyi and they exchanged views on the archipelago's economic development. He was also hosted at the state lunch before leaving Zanzibar.